Welcome all to this lecture of Object-Oriented Programming 1. Uh, Today we will be continuing with Introduction to Java and Elementary Programming, that is Unit 1. Let me show the disclaimer first. Okay, so let us start the session. So in this Unit 1, we have already seen why we are learning Java, what is the reason why it is popular, right? Then why we need to use Java, right? And what Java API specifications exist, okay? And then we saw what is JDK and what is JRE, right? And then we also saw what is JVM, right? And then we saw the diagram that depicts how JDK is JDK is having what all things, and GRE is having what all things, right? So, and then we saw that we need an integrated development environment in order to do some development, okay? In order to do software development or program development. So, and then we started with a simple Java program, and then we saw what are comments. There were three types of comments, right, that we saw. One is single line comments, multi-line comments, and the third one was documentation comments. Okay. These were the third one. Java provides three kinds of comments. Okay. Then we saw various data types. We saw how the data types are divided into two groups: primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Okay. Then we saw some examples, and we saw how automatic conversions, that is the implicit conversions, take place when you are considering numeric type conversions, right? In that case, when does the implicit conversions take place, and when does the typecasting, that is the explicit conversion, takes place, right? When does these two types of conversions takes place? One is, that is the implicit and explicit. That also we saw, right? This was the example of explicit conversion or typecasting. Then we saw what are Java identifiers, and we saw that the identifiers can be used to define various things like variables, okay, then methods, okay, and then the classes, okay, and then the packages. To provide names to all this, we need identifiers, right? And then we saw the rules for constructing the identifiers, okay, and we also saw various variables and how these variables can be defined, right? Then we saw how to make constant variables, or in Java we call it as final variables, right? Instead of calling it as constant, we call it as final variables, which means unchangeable variables. Once you assign a value, you cannot change it, or we can simply say read-only variables, right? This is how we declare it. First the final keyword, then the data type, then the variable name, and then assigning the value, okay? And obviously this will not run, this code will not run, because this minum has become final or constant, okay? Then we saw various Java operators that can be used for various purposes, like arithmetic operators were there, assignment operators there. Assignment operator is to assign some values, okay, and comparison operators are there, and comparison operators are used to compare two operands. Logical operators are there, which can combine two conditions, okay, or not can reverse any particular condition. and bitwise operators are also there, and then we saw the ternary operator, right? So we have seen these kind of operators, various operators are there. Okay, then we have to see that what kind of precedence and associativity is there. So basically this unary plus unary increment and unary decrement, these are called as unary. Plus plus is called as unary increment, minus minus is called as unary decrement. So these two are basically postfix increment and decrement, and they can also be used in prefix. Okay, so postfix means you do it something like this. It is like I plus plus. Okay, and prefix means you do something like this, plus plus I. Okay, so the associativity over here in postfix is left to right. So it starts executing from left to right. So for what happens is, if you are printing this value, if you are doing something like this, int I equal to 0, and then system dot out dot println and I plus plus. So what will happen is, the associativity is from left to right. So first it will do what? First it will print the value. What is it is doing? It is printing, right? So first it will print the value of I, which is 0, and then it will increment. So the incremented value will not get printed. The older value will get printed. But after the println statement is executed, the value of I is what? 1. Okay, value of I is 1. So we want to see the incremented value, then what we have to do is we have to specifically use prefix operator. So we say system.out.println plus plus I. So first, so here what is happening, it is right to left, and here what happens is, here first it increments, and then it does what? Here it does first it sees I, increments it, and then puts its value in, and then it sees, okay, I have to print this value, so it will print that particular value. Okay, like that. So unary operators are also having precedence from right to left, that is unary plus, unary minus, unary not, and exclamation. Okay, and then there is a multiplicative operators, which consist of multiplication, division, and modulus operator. Okay, which has associativity. All these have associativity left to right. See, all the binary operators have associativity left to right. Only the unary operators are having associativity right to left. Okay. Additive has plus and minus. Shifting has left shift, right shift, and right shift with 0 insert. Okay. And relational operator are also there, which are nothing but less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. Okay, and then we have equality operators also, which is double equal to, are used to do comparison. Remember, here in Java you cannot use equal to operator for assignment. This, see, equal to operator is used for assignment. Okay, it is used for assignment and not comparison, and not for comparing. Okay, for comparing or for equality you have to use what? You have to use double equal to or not equal to. If you want to check whether some value is not equal to some other value, you use this not equal to. If you want to check some value is equal to some other value, or one variable is equal to some other value or one other variable, we use double equal to. So remember, there are two types of equality operators: double equal to, not equal to. For comparison, you use double equal to and not a single equal to. Single equal to is used for assignment operation. Okay. So see here also you can see in relational operators, also there is this less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, which is almost similar to like this. Here both the values should be same. Here the left hand value should be less than or equal to the right hand value. Here the left hand side value should be greater than or equal to right hand side value. It's like that. Okay. Then comes other operators are like bitwise operators. These all are bitwise operators. Okay, bitwise and or not. These operations appear on bits. Okay, and then there are logical and or logical or. These are used to combine some conditions. Okay, some logical conditions. So if you say I want to check a is greater than 5, and then you want to combine it with some other condition. So what you have to do is you have to give it like this: a is greater than 5 and maybe or a is smaller than 10. A is greater than 5, or maybe a is less than 0, we can say, let's say. So this means that either the value of a is negative or the value of a is greater than 5. Or this is logical or. Okay, this is used to combine two conditions. Okay, then comes ternary operator. We've already seen this ternary operator. How does it work? It works in this way. It has got a condition. Okay, once a condition is there, then the question mark. So if the condition is true, then this part will be executed, question mark part will be executed, and there is a colon. So if condition is false, then this false part will. So if condition is true, this part gets executed. If condition evaluates to false, this part gets executed. It's kind of if else in a single line. Okay, and then there is assignment operator. These all are assignment operators. Okay, so let's see some examples. Now see, we have already seen how to access command line arguments, right? Command line argument as parameters. But now we'll see how to make use of it, make a meaningful use of it. So check this out. Whether if you want to add two numbers and if you want to pass it to the program through the command line, then you can use this particular code. What I will do is, in this main, we are getting this string array, right? This is nothing but the array contains all the command line arguments. Okay, this array contains all the command line arguments. So let's suppose that user is sending two command line arguments. So obviously, let's say if this class name is, let's say ABC. Okay, that's a class name, and ends over here, right? So now if we want to run this program, how will we run it? We will say Java ABC and then 10 and 5. Okay, so what happens over here is, check this out: Java ABC 10 5. This is what we give on command line. Okay, so this Java command will invoke this ABC class and it will pass this 10 and 5 as string arguments, right? What did I say? It passes it as string arguments. That's the main thing. Although we are passing numbers, those numbers are passed as string arguments. So we need to convert that string into a numeric value. So that's why we have got, in Java, we have got integer class. Remember, this is different than simple int variable or simple int data type. Okay, this is a primitive data type available in Java. This is int, which can define integer variables. Whereas this integer is a class. Okay, it's a, what is this? This is a wrapper class which wraps the int data type. So why do we need wrapper classes? We'll see later on. Just now, right? Just remember that wrapper classes are in fact used to wrap primitive data types into objects. So if you want to store this primitive variables, primitive data type variables into a place where only objects are accepted, right? At that time, you can wrap those primitive data types into this wrapper class objects and store it there. Okay. So this integer wrapper class is available to us. So in that integer wrapper class, we have got this parseInt method, which will take input as a string, which will take input is equal to what? Input is equal to string, and it will give you the output is equal to what? Output is equal to the int value. So it converts a string into an int value. Okay. So this args 0, when we say Java ABC 10 5. So this args, when this arguments are converted into an array, what happens is that this 10 is one string, then this 5 is another string. So since this is an array, what will be the index? Yes, what will be the index? So the index of this is what? Index of that is 0. Similarly, the index of this is what? Index of this is 1, right? So when you say args of 0, this array is basically given to this args variable. So when you say args of 0, that basically accesses this value 10, but which is in string format. So that will be given to this parseInt, and parseInt will convert it into an integer value, int value, and then that value will be assigned to this num1. Similarly, this args1 refers to this value 5, and that will convert that string 5 into an int value and will assign to this num2. So now this num has got value 10, and this num2 has got value 5. Now we can do some arithmetic operation on it. We can use the arithmetic operator plus and take its sum, and that can be assigned to another variable, and then it can be printed. So then what do? We use system.out.println, and we say num1 is equal to this, num2 is equal to this, and then sum. You see that? And here make sure this plus means this plus acts as a what? This plus acts as a concatenation operator. Okay, this is what? A concatenation operator. It concatenates two string. Okay, remember that thing. Since it is used, since a number, an integer is used with a string value, it will concat with it and will become, these two will become a new what? A new string. Okay. So if you want to run this particular program, let me just take this program and put it into yesterday we had made this my app. So okay, not this Java app. In that we will use, let's make a new program. Let me say new Java class, and here I will say program 04. That's the class name, and here In this program 04, we will put this code of static main. Okay. So now if we run this particular program, if we run this file, you'll get to see that okay, now it should ask you for a particular uh, what a particular command line input. Okay, so let me use the options and so if I run this directly, it will give you error, right? So what we will do is okay. Now since I have to give it on command line, let me open the command line and go over there. Then I will be able to do it. So what is the location? This is the location. Okay. So let me go over there. Okay, in build, it will be there inside the build. The Java file will be there inside the build. Class file is there inside classes folder. It will be there. Here it is. Okay, inside. Oh, it will be inside default package. Yes. So here it is. So let me run over here. Java and -cp dot and then I say program 04. Here also it gives me error. Why? Because I have not passed any command line arguments. So what I have to do is I have to pass the command line arguments. So how do I pass it? I say, check this out. I say Java -cp. You people know we used it for class path argument. Dot as a current directory. We have to consider dot, that is current directory, as the class path for which we are calling this class. And now you give the arguments. Let me give 10 and 20. Now I say enter. So check this out. It gets number 10, gets number 20, adds them both and prints them. You see that? So this number 10 and 20 are initially passed as strings, but then they are converted. This number 10 is converted into a number, an integer. This number 20, which is string, is converted into an integer, and then an operation is done and you get the result. You see that? So that is a simple what? A simple program that works on basically what? It works on basically the command line arguments. So you saw today how to access the command line arguments. Okay, you saw what? You saw how to access the command line arguments. Okay, and how then we'll see how to read input from consoles. Now you will say, sir, why don't let the program ask the input from the user? Yes, why to give it every time to give it from the console only, right? So check this out. Here this is a greetings to class where you have this in this class you have this main method inside which we use a scanner class. We say scanner input. We make an input variable of type scanner the scanner is available in java.util package. So we have to import it. We say import java.util.scanner. What is this? This is a class for doing input. Okay. And what is this part? This is a package. What is this? Java.util is a package, and this scanner is nothing but a class. So classes are available. Classes are available inside packages. Okay. And we have to import those packages if we need them, or we have to import those specific classes. If we want to import all the classes that are available inside this particular package, then we will have to say it something like this. Then we will have to say something like this, that import java.util, okay, dot star and semicolon. So this java.util is the package name, and then when you say star, it means that you are importing all the classes and interfaces that are available inside this java.util package. Okay. So here right now we are importing this scanner class specified by whole package name, and then we are creating what? We are creating an object of it by saying new scanner. This new keyword is used to create an object. Why? What is it used for? Used to create an object of a class. Which class is this? This is scanner class. Of that scanner class, object is made using new keyword. And what do we pass as an operator to it? We pass input system.in. This system.in is the input stream that is read by the scanner object. So this input stream, what is this? This is an input stream. This input stream is basically directly associated with keyboard. Okay, by default it is associated with keyboard. So whatever you type on keyboard will be read by this scanner object called as input. And how it could be read? It could be read by saying input dot next line. So it will ask the user, it will wait for the user to enter a line, that is to type something, and when you press enter, at that time it takes the next line. So it reads this whole particular line. See, this command reads one particular line from the user until and unless the user enters enter. Okay. So what we have done is we have first created an object of scanner class. We have given it the system.in, that is the input stream, default input stream. We have we'll be using this object called input. Then we print a message to user saying enter your name. Okay, and then we wait for the user to input by saying input at next line. This particular method will halt the program. It will not allow the program to go ahead unless and until user enters something. Whatever user enters, that is being read, and it is given to this string name. It is read by this particular method and it gives it to this string name. So suppose user enters ABC, then this ABC will be assigned to this variable name, which is a string variable. Okay. And then we simply say hello concatenated with this name. So hello and the name. Welcome to Java. That's what we say. Okay. So let me take this particular code and now let me show it to you in the. Let me make a new class over here, Java class over here, and here I will say the Java class is greeting2. That's the name, right? Or simply let's call it as greeting. That's it. Finish it. And over here, greeting. That's it. And let me just remove this. This is not a valid character. That's why it's giving us error. So check this out. This also I will have to change, and I will replace it all. That's it. So when I say enter your name, you put at next line and then hello name and welcome to Java. Okay. First, what do? We create an object of scanner. We pass to it the input stream. See, check this out. When I remove this scanner, what does it take? See, this is the suggestion given by the IDE, that is NetBeans. It says that this scanner, when you want to make a scanner object, it can have these many things. Scanner class can read a file source, an input stream, a path or a readable source, or a string or a readable byte channel. Lots of things are there, you see. These are all various ways in which we can create a scanner object. Out of these, which is the one that we are creating? Yes, we are creating the scanner object of this type, which reads an input stream source. So we are providing an input stream source. What is our source? That source is system. The system class has got input output variables. So we say system dot in. So you can see what is this in? It is an input stream object, right? It is an input stream, final input stream object. That is basically the standard input stream. Standard input stream in a PC or laptop generally considers a standard input stream is considered to be the keyboard. Okay. So this stream is already open and ready to supply the input data. Okay. Typically, this corresponds to keyboard input or another input source specified by the host environment or user. So the host environment, that is our OS, specifies the system.in to be the keyboard. So we wrap the keyboard input into a scanner object, and then through the scanner object input, we can read the whole line by saying input.next line. There are various methods also, available in this. Input.c, we can say next. Next will also give you a string. Next with some pattern, next line. There are lots of has next. We'll check whether there is a next line or not. There is lots of methods are there. You see, you can even directly get an integer value by saying next int. You see, scanner the input dot next int. So let me show you that also. I will show you that also. For this particular program number 4, we'll get the input from the user. Okay. Let me first run this part. So when I run this, greeting, okay. See, here it is asking us to enter your name. So I say 4EC1, say enter, it says hello 4EC1, welcome to Java. You see that? And now what we'll do, as I told you, we'll use the scanner class to be used for this program, for this addition program, right? So let me make a new program. Let me say this, save this program as program 04_2. Okay. This is the class program 04_2. Okay. In this, now we will not be passing the numbers through the command line arguments. So we'll be reading the numbers, right? So what we will do, we will first have to make a scanner class. Okay. We'll first have to make a scanner class object. So let us first import it. We say import java.util.scanner. We imported the scanner class. Now we can use it. So we say scanner sc, let's call it as sc, is equal to new scanner, and inside this what will we give? We will give system.in, that is the standard input. That is the standard input. Okay. So we give this system.in to the scanner object. Okay. And now what do we do is we'll be reading the numbers through this sc object itself. Okay. How? Check this out. So we will say sc.next int. Directly this will read a number and it will assign it to num1. Okay. Similarly, we will use the same code to read a second number from the user. But for that, we need to prompt the user, right? So we will use a system.out.println code or command to print a message saying enter number 1. That's what we say. What do we say? Enter number 1. Okay. And okay, so for that we don't have to use, make sure we don't use println, because after directly that we have to read the number. Okay. And again here also we say enter number 2. Okay, we can simply use a system.out.println over here just to print a simple string or just to print a new line. Then we say system.out.println or not println, simple print. So println means print and then make a new line, right? Here we don't want to make a new line because after this string, after this enter number 2, we directly have to read the number, right? So check this out. This is one part, displaying the message, reading the input. This is second part, displaying the message, reading the input. And now both the numbers are ready. Directly those can be used. We don't need to parse them using integer class. Okay, both have been directly read as integer numbers only from the input. Directly from the input keyboard, it has been read as integer with the help of this nextInt method. It automatically reads the string and converts it into integer and then returns it. Okay, so now if I run this program, okay, so it has run a greeting program. So let me run this program by saying run file. So check this out. Here it is asking me for a number. It says enter number 1. So I say enter number 1 is 10. And then it says enter number 2. So I say 5 and so I enter. You can see number 1 is 10, number 5 is number 2 is 5, sum is 50. You see that? And similarly, here what we have done is, here we have done the what? Here we have done the expression of addition and assigned that value to a sum variable. But now we can perform this operation directly over here, right? We have done that kind of program before also. So let's make a new system.out.println and we'll say addition is this and subtraction is this, not the sum, right? Let's do one thing. Let's, instead of here, what we do here, we simply say num1 minus num2. Okay, this expression is being put over here, right? And similarly here also we multiply and we say multiplication is this, and then here we say division is this. Okay, that's it, right? So see here what we've done, we have done the expression and assigned it to a variable and then use that variable as output. But here we are directly using the expression into the println statement. You see that? That's the difference. You can even do this. You can use the expression on the right hand side like this and assign the result to a variable, or you can directly what? Or you can directly use the expression inside the println statement. Here the println statement starts, here the println statement ends. So inside that you are directly using that expression. You see that? Yes. Multiplication, subtraction, multiplication, and also the division. All three operations are done as a expression. And the value, whatever the result comes, that will be concatenated with the string that you printed. Okay. If I now run this particular program, It asks me for a number, so I say 10, and then I say 5, so it will give me result of all the things. What is the result? Addition 15, subtraction 5, multiplication 50, division 5. You see that? Okay. Okay, so here I think we have not done division part. Okay, there it is. Now let's run it again. 10 and 5. So here now the result is true. Correct result is there. Addition 15, subtraction 5, multiplication 50, division 2. You see that? Okay. So this is how we read the data from the console. What did we saw today? We saw today two major important things. One is the how to read the arguments, command line arguments, and how to read the command line arguments as parameters and how to convert them into numbers from string. Okay, and then we also saw how to read the input from console. Okay, and then we also saw how to read directly the numbers from the console. Okay, from the user. And there are some other string methods also, like see, as I said you, that this plus is used to concatenate, right? So this, see, when I say the first name is equal to John, string first name equal to John, string last name equal to dog, then two variables have been defined, right? Now I say system.out.println and first name plus space, double quotes I say space, plus last name. So what it will do? This first name and space makes a string, and that string and this last name will be make a string, and this will be a final string which will result into something like John space do. Okay, something like this. Will result into something like this. Okay, this is a string that is a result of this particular statement, and you can even do the same thing by saying first name dot concat last name. But I think once you start typing and once you start practicing, this will be the very easy method for you people. Just you have to remember that using plus with a variable, string variable or multiple strings will concat those strings. That's it. Using plus with multiple strings will concatenate. Okay, it will not do any addition, it will concatenate. Okay, so first name dot concat last name, that will also result into this way. But see, now here what happens is, here you get an extra space, here you don't get a space. See that? That's the main difference. So that's why this kind of plus operator is very much helpful to us. Okay. And there are some other string methods also that you can really make use of that are really helpful to us. Like for example, to uppercase, to convert a string to uppercase. If this is a string that I have declared string txt equal to hello world, and then I said txt dot to uppercase, this will convert this whole hello world string and it will output it as capitalized hello world string. Okay. And similarly, when you set txt dot to lowercase and you say the output, it will give you the output as lowercase, whole word as lowercase. This H, this capital, which are W, which are in capital, those also get converted into what? Lowercase letters. You see that? And here all the letters, those were small case, those got converted into uppercase when we used to uppercase. Okay. And there is a method called length that will automatically count the length of the string. So the length of this hello world string is 11. That's what it will give you. And it can, you can even get the index of something. For example, if you want to see that inside this txt string, that is this txt string, which is nothing but hello world string, inside this string, is there any word contained called as world? And if it is contained, what is the index of that particular? So see here, when you say txt.index of world, it will give you output as 6. So this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but here the index, consider the index to be starting from 0, so it will be something like 0 1 2 3 4 5 and W as 6. So this word called world is situated at location what? Location number 6 in this hello world string. So that's why it gives you the output 6. You see that, right? So this index of is also very much useful many times. Okay. So that's it for the day, and let me know if you people have any issues or any doubts. Please let me know. We'll have interaction for that. Okay.